bhavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sah viryan karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purahanamudina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Mrutavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Tvamanasandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Devyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Tanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Let's read the first two verses. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Nagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam Na Karmanam Anarambhat Naishkarmyam Purushosnute Nacha Sanyasana Deva Siddhim Samadhigacchati. We said this morning, these verses are specifically being addressed to Arjuna and also to anybody who is in that mental condition where a person has become dejected, disappointed, discouraged, has lost all initiative to do anything, Arjuna represents a person who came to the battlefield full of enthusiasm, with motivation to fight. And there was no conflict in his mind at that time. And after observing people in both the armies, seeing his near and dear ones, and the possibility of death of all these people just make him very sad. He was grieving. So Arjuna was overcome with grief. What causes grief varies with different people. Meaning that we need not concern ourselves with the particular situation of Arjuna which caused him grief. But grief is a common problem of all human beings. Grief or sadness is the universal problem of all human beings. Basically, human being is a grieving, sad, unhappy being, generally speaking. And there is a reason for that. The reason is a spiritual reason, although we assign the reason for our unhappiness to somebody or the other or something or the other in the world. Somebody did something to me, therefore I am unhappy. Somebody did not do something, therefore whatever. So I may have my own reasons for justifying my unhappiness. But understand, unhappiness or sadness is a spiritual problem, not a worldly problem. We have two kinds of problems. One are the spiritual problems and others are the worldly problems. Problems centered upon I and problems centered upon non-I. Because I am a combination of I and non-I. Spirit and matter. Purusha and Prakriti. Self and non-self. Where this body, mind, sense complex falls in the category of non-self, and the consciousness, that is I, which enlivens this body, mind, sense complex, that is the spirit or that is the self. So self of the spirit as though has put on this clothing of matter to manifest himself. The only way that self of the consciousness can manifest is where it puts on the clothing of the matter, of Prakriti. Therefore, whatever there is in the creation, sentient or insentient, is a union of Purusha and Prakriti, spirit and matter. And so we are. So there are problems that are centered upon matter. Like our body has problems, like hunger and thirst and pain and comfort, discomfort. And many worldly needs are there. Needs for transportation, communication and all kinds of things are there, functioning in this world, interacting, relating to people, having family responsibilities, and all these are, you may call, worldly problems. Just, if you want to call them problems. And there are worldly solutions for that. Hunger is not a spiritual problem, therefore you need food. Simple. Thirst is also a problem centered upon the body. You need something to drink. Poverty also is a problem based on it's a social thing, and so you need a social solution. But sadness or unhappiness, sorrow is a problem centered upon the self. It is a spiritual problem, not a material or worldly problem. Not understanding that, we always go for worldly solutions to solve spiritual problems. Meaning that when I don't feel good about myself, I'm not in mood, I feel sad, I go for a movie, I go for a candy, I go for internet, I will go for some distraction. All of those attempts on our parts are nothing but avoiding that problem. So what we normally do is we avoid confronting the problem of sadness and somehow distract ourselves and engage ourselves in some activity or the other so that we do not have to confront our mind. But what happens is the effect that something can create, something can distract us for a period of time, not forever. There is no candy that can engage my mind forever. No ice cream, no movie, nothing that can engage my mind. They can engage my mind for a period of time, then mind gets bored with it. They want something else and something else. So when our attempts to keep our mind distracted from a problem are not, when are not successful, or when it has run out its usefulness, then again we have to confront ourselves. So we find that the sadness comes back again and again. And that's the problem that Arjuna represents. Arjuna represents a person who is immersed in the ocean of grief, as they say, so grieving that he became incapable of functioning. Such a courageous and powerful person lost all his even physical strength. The grief in his mind resulted in his draining away of all the physical strength also. He found himself incapable of doing anything. Just could not function. So, this is what Lord Krishna takes a person like that and gives him discourses. At the end, Arjuna gets back all his motivation and everything and says, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do your bidding, meaning that I am ready to do whatever is required to be done. And so, Gita is a spiritual teaching for solving spiritual problem, which is the problem of, call it sadness, of grief, unhappiness, depression, whatever. All of these problems are psychological to a certain extent, but the source is spiritual. Therefore, psychology cannot provide a permanent solution, or an in-depth, it can provide a superficial solution. So when you go to a therapist, he says, you are feeling like this because your mother did this, your father did that, your uncle did this, or something like that they will tell you. And so, all right, they pass on the responsibility to somebody else and make you feel good that, okay, I am so because of my mother and because of my this. But they do not know that this is basically a spiritual problem. It is not a psychological problem, it is, but the source is the spiritual thing. So, Bhagavad Gita provides this fundamental solution of the problem of sadness. And what does Vedanta explain? Why do we feel sad? Who makes me sad? I myself make me sad. How come? Because we said yesterday, we are a self-conscious being, conscious of ourselves. And whenever I find myself inadequate, in my own perception, whenever I find myself inadequate, not up to the mark, I am not able to live up to my own expectation, then I can become disappointed with myself. When I become disappointed with myself, I am unsatisfied with myself, I become unhappy with myself, so that is unhappiness. So all unhappiness comes on account of my not being able to satisfy my own expectations of myself. So not only we make demands upon the world as to what they should do for me, but first I make demands on my own self as to what I should be. I should be a successful person. I should be under control. I must be I must have control over everything. I must be successful. I must be right. I must be See, these are my expectations of myself. When I find that I can't control, even a child sometimes refuses to listen to me, I get frustrated because a child also can frustrate me by not being controlled by me. I find myself incapable of controlling. I'm not capable, I'm no good. So all my anger is frustration at my own self, understand? Therefore, I am the problem to myself. I have a perception of myself and that I am the problem. So what needs to happen is a change of perception of myself. I keep on looking at myself through the mind that I have today and judging myself as no good, not acceptable to my own self. Therefore, a transformation is required in my own mind, because mind is like a mirror. If a mirror is distorted or unclean, then it reflects a face which is not real face. It distorts the face. So my mind also does not reflect me or reveal me as I am, because the mind has distortions. Therefore, I see a distorted self and become unhappy with myself. It is like looking at a mirror which is crooked and I feel that my face is crooked. Maybe I suffered from some kind of a stroke or something. Similarly, I keep on looking at myself through the mirror of the mind, or prism of the mind, judging myself and thus rejecting myself. There are moments when I am able to accept myself and I am happy. But more often than not, I am not. Therefore, what is important is transformation in this mirror of the mind. As long as the mind is, as we've been saying since last 2 days, under control of the impulses of raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, which result as lust, anger, greed, so long I see myself as an unacceptable person. So as we said in the morning, we are given that program to make ourselves free from all those internal pressures, internal impulses. Bhagavad Gita reduces all those pressures or impulses into two: raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. But they include all negative impulses such as kama, lust, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, jealousy. All of these are included in raga and dvesha. So Lord Krishna says, Arjuna, you want to think that you think that you don't need karma. You think that you are all right if you do not fight this battle. This battle is simply a situation of Arjuna to perform his duty. In case of Arjuna, his duty happens to be fighting this battle. As I say, the specific situation of Arjuna need not concern us. We don't have to fight battles. We just live our day-to-day life. But then one thing is that just as this particular situation demanded from Arjuna a certain kind of response, so also every situation that we pass through from morning till evening demands an appropriate response from us. If we do not relate to situation appropriately, then we get hurt every time. Therefore, as we pass through the experiences of our day-to-day life, we pick up a little anger here, little jealousy there, little hurt here, little guilt there. So every experience seems to be a little bit of impulse, impression of itself. And therefore we build up all these hurts and guilts, and that's how they ultimately result in one sadness. So how to live life? Simple. How to live our day-to-day life such that living life becomes a process of becoming happy. Living life becomes a process of getting rid of the accumulated impulses. Living life becomes a process of progressively becoming free from all internal pressures which make us unhappy. That is called Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Karma means duty, and Yoga is attitude. Performing our duties with the right attitude. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us attitudes and values, two things they teach us. Values and attitudes. Yoga is the attitude that we have towards performance of an action, the attitude we have towards the outcome of an action. Two things are there in our life. What is our life is, we keep on doing something, we keep on performing actions, and those actions result into outcomes, isn't it? Karma and karma phala, effort and outcome, that's all, what else is there? That's our life. So if we learn how we should relate to these two things, what should be our attitude towards the action, and what should be our attitude towards the outcome of the action, that's it. Simple as that. That's called yoga. So karma yoga is performing karma, or karma means appropriate action with the right attitude, and secondly, responding to the result or the outcome also with the right attitude. Why are these two attitudes different? Because karma is something that we control, and karma phala is something that we do not control. Karma means our action. We can control, meaning that we have the freedom to decide what to do, what not to do, how to do. That freedom we have. So karma represents something that we can control in a situation, and karma phala represents something that we do not control. Because karma phala, or outcome, is the result of many variables which we do not control because they are the laws of nature or laws of karma. They decide what the outcome is. We have the freedom to release arrow from our bow. What the target will be, with what force to release the arrow, all of this is under my control. Once the arrow is released from the bow, whether it will hit the target, where it will fall, I cannot control. Laws of nature decide the trajectory of the arrow, isn't it? In life there are two things. Thing that I can control and thing that I cannot control. Thing that I can control is called free will or purushartha. That I cannot control is called destiny or prarabdha. So free will and destiny. Free will with reference to our effort, actions we perform, and destiny with reference to the outcome of the action. What we control is called free will, what we do not control is called destiny. How far is our free will? What's the scope of free will? What is the scope of destiny? May be very difficult to define. Meaning that where does free will end, where does destiny begin, may not be that easy to define. But one thing is certain, that in every situation there is free will and there is destiny. And therefore, as far as free will is concerned, we should take responsibility. We should take responsibility for what we do. That's called karma. Karmanyavadhikarasya. Meaning take responsibility for what you do. And we should be humble, humility and surrender when it comes to responding to the result or outcome of the action. What we cannot control is controlled by Ishvara, surrender to Him. What you can control is your free will, therefore take the responsibility. In India we do the reverse thing. When it comes to karma, Bhagavan karega. Bhagavan nahi karega, you have to do. When it comes to destiny and result, how come I didn't get this? That you don't decide. So what we don't decide, we want to decide. And what he should decide, we want him to decide. But there is something that we have to decide and something that he has to decide. When we say laws of nature, we mean Ishvara. The Ishvara manifests as the universe and the laws of the universe. We said yesterday, harmony in the universe. So we have to live a life like this, which will help us to become emotionally mature people. Who is an emotionally mature person? One who is not controlled by the emotions, but one who controls the emotions. One is not controlled by the inner impulses and pressures, but one who controls them. One who becomes free from them. Who is a happy person? Less the inner pressure, more the freedom, more the happiness. Less the impulses, more the freedom, more the happiness. Therefore, we should live a life such that we progressively become free from those inner impulses, inner pressures. Here, Arjuna, you have to do this before you take sannyasa, before you retire. Before you retire, better prepare yourself for retirement. See, retirement is not merely stopping work. Retirement means the ability to be with oneself. When I am active, I am with the world, I am interacting with the world, and there are many things to distract my mind and engage my mind with. But when I am retired, that work is not there, the world is not there, interaction is not there, essentially I am with myself. So when can I say that I am ready to retire? When I am comfortable with myself. As long as I am not comfortable, I must distract. That is called action. Karma can become a nice outlet for my need to distract. Not that entertainment, but karma. And if karma perform with that right attitude, will slowly and slowly make me free from need for distraction and make me more and more comfortable with myself. A time can come when I am comfortable with myself. Then you can retire if you want to. Then you have choice to retire or not retire. So you can retire when you need not retire. Here retirement is a pressure. Swami, I want to take premature retirement. VRS in India they call it. This early retirement. But that's under pressure. So many years ago when these banks and other government agencies offered VRS, with a lot of packages, golden shake hand, many people took that option. Then they found they were miserable. As a bank officer, retired, all right. Now what to do? So he goes to the same bank to pass time now. He's on the other side of the desk. He's no more welcome now. The fellow, formerly he was his boss, now he's the same fellow. He doesn't want him because he is wasting his time. So that is not the way to retire. Retirement is a big psychological problem. And so, because we are not prepared ourselves for retirement, we think that when we grow to this 65, 70, X1, then we are ready to retire. It's nothing to do with the age. If age also is accompanied with the growth, not aging but growing, our Swami used to say. Not aging but growing. I mean, as we age, if you have initiated a process of growth, what growth? Emotional growth, spiritual growth. Then our physical age, our emotional age, they are in harmony. Then you are a mature person. So once our Swami was talking, celebrating his birthday, in Salisbury. This was a couple of years ago, so he must be 82, something like that. So as well, getting old, aging is, is all right. We earn these wrinkles, he says, Only the wrinkles. You have to earn the wrinkles. Every wrinkle should represent the maturity, should represent the growth. Not just physical age. A physically person becomes disabled, but emotionally need not be disabled. And therefore, most important is emotional growth. Swami always emphasized emotional maturity. We don't pay attention to that. He used to point out, as far as animals are concerned, as they physically grow, emotionally also they grow. There is no such thing as emotionally immature cow, emotionally immature dog. They are emotionally mature when they become physically mature. But as far as human being is concerned, I can be a 70-year-old man with the mind of 20-year-old person. Possible. Because they did not grow. So when I am 70 also I need the same thing the young man of 20 needs. I need to dance and I need to same stuff. Then I am called successful person. He is living his life. He does the same thing they did when he was 25. It means he has not grown. Anyway, we have no comment on other people. The point is that unless we initiate the process of growth, that emotional growth does not take place automatically. Physical growth, whether you want it or not, will take place. Wrinkles will come whether you like it or not. But as far as emotional maturity is concerned, you should initiate. That's called karma yoga, living in life intelligently. Right attitudes and values. So therefore Lord Krishna says, Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purusha ashnude. Karma. Here Arjuna, karma, or your active life, is the opportunity that you have for carrying out self-growth, for carrying out emotional maturity. And what is the, Swamiji, how do I know that I am getting emotionally mature? What's the criterion? Discovering comfort with oneself. Simple. I am comfortable with myself. I start liking myself. That's the most big problem. I don't like myself. The biggest problem with myself that I do not like myself. I am not happy with myself. I am not accepting myself. That's why I have to run away from myself. I have to engage myself in various things. Discovering, and that way constant war is going on in my mind. A constant battle is going on. When I am at peace with myself. Right now, I am not at peace with myself. So, being at peace with oneself, this is called being happy with oneself. This is called the true happiness. So unless you do that, Arjuna, you are not ready to give up the action. Arjuna thought that simply by giving up the retiring, that he retires. Arjuna thought that by not performing action, by giving up the action that was in front of him, now he has the freedom to go to forest, live a life of a renunciate, of an ascetic, do tapasya, contemplate, get knowledge, get liberated. He says no. Because you must first of all discover freedom not to act. We do not have freedom not to act. Because we do not act. Something within us makes us act. Lord Krishna says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma krit karyate hyavashah karma sarvah prakriti jair gunaihi. That a human being cannot remain inactive even for a moment because there is something within himself, some pressure that forces him to perform action. Whether he likes it or not, he is forced to do that. How to meditate? But my mind, normally my mind does not pay attention to many things, but when I am meditating, now I start listening to that tap and so water is dripping. He says, hey, go and close it. He makes me get up and close that, all right. Then I find my alarm clock tick, tick, tick. See, things that never bothered me so far, when I start doing my mind, takes note of all those stuff. Meaning that it is just restless. It is not just comfortable with itself. So it is only finding excuses just to escape from, engage itself in some activity. Meaning that Lord Krishna says that we do not have freedom not to act. When can we retire? When can we stop activity? When we discover freedom not to act. Right now it's not I am who is doing something. It is some pressure within me that makes me do things. A lot of desires are there. A lot of likes and dislikes are there. Those impulses are there. Those lot of uncompleted agenda is there. Lots of stuff is there inside. And all of these fellows, they become active when I am trying to concentrate my mind. Otherwise they remain, I don't even know that all those things are in me. When I try to calm down, when I try to focus my mind on something like meditation or prayer, then all those fellows show up. Because normally I do not allow them to show up. Normally I keep my mind so busy that there is no opportunity to say anything. Now that I have decided to disengage my mind, now they find the voice. Like that child is seeking attention of the mother, keeps on pulling her sari. Mom, I can't. No. And then mother's friend comes and mom is talking to her. Mom, may I have a candy? Alright, take it. So when it is very inconvenient for mother, at that time only this fellow will demand her attention. Our mind also is like that. When we keep it engaged so long, it seems to be all right. But the moment we try to calm down, then it comes with all its unfinished desires and needs. So Lord Krishna says that, generally speaking, a human being does not have the freedom not to do things because it is not mostly we who do things, we are made to do things by the impulses such as raga dveshas within ourselves. And therefore, suppose you do not pay heed to this mind and you by your will, so I am going to give up all activities. I am going to meditate. So I am a yogi, I am a renunciate. given up all actions. And so, karma indriyani sanyamya yaste manasasman, Lord Krishna says. As I said in the morning, we have freedom to control or restrain our limbs. Meaning that we can sit in a meditative posture. That we can do because the karmendriya, hands, legs, speech, we can control. We can stop them from activity. So I can make my body sit in a meditative posture. I can stop speaking. All of this I can do. Meaning outwardly it may appear that this person is meditating. But meditation is not the state of body, it's a state of mind. And so, I want to meditate upon God, Ishvara, or self, or something. But mind has its own agenda. And therefore, now mind finds an opportunity to fulfill its agenda and forces me to think about all the things it wants. How about that new car? How about that movie, it's coming on Friday? How about this evening show, I think they're going to show Wimbledon today, it's going to be final and something. So all these things will come up in the mind. Meaning that the person appears to be meditating outwardly, but inwardly, his mind is full of samsara. So rather than this, and then he gets frustrated. Now what happens is, in those days, when you become a sannyasi, as I said in the morning, you give up all your avenues for all distractions. All avenues are given up for fulfilling desires. Well, no action is performed. So you are deprived of the worldly little pleasures that you are getting, and you cannot get the pleasure from yourself also. So neither here nor there. So untimely sannyasa, untimely retirement brings this in a very awkward situation. Neither here nor there. So Lord Krishna, rather than that, so na karmanam anarambhat, simply by will, not performing an action, does not give you the benefit of retirement or sannyasa. So second line says, nacha sannyasana. Arjuna may say, but Lord, I will take sannyasa. Two things. One is, I will not do my action or duty. Second is that now officially if I take sannyasa, then I don't have to do duty. So just because you take sannyasa, go through that process, does not make you a sannyasi. Meaning that you can be sannyasi by your attire. You can be sannyasi by your lifestyle. But sannyasa is not the description of an attire. It's not a description of a lifestyle. It is a description of a state of mind. So just because you get a certificate, you don't become an engineer or a doctor. Certificate is recognition that you have become an engineer or doctor. Is it not so? So if you have a certificate like this, of a certain attire, so lifestyle, doesn't mean that you are a sannyasi. This should be a result of that attainment of its maturity of mind. That's a sannyasana deva. Just because you formally take sannyasa does not qualify you also for pursuit of knowledge. Siddhim samadhina gacchati. So Lord Krishna is the word naishkarmyam. Na karmanam anarambad naishkarmyam purusha asna naishkarmyam. So see the word meaning naishkarmyam, the state of actionlessness. There's another way of describing moksha, or freedom. This morning we talked about freedom as freedom from all inner pressures, freedom to be a good person, we said. Freedom to be what you are, a good, kind, loving person. Without having to be politically right or wrong, that you can be naturally what you are. Or you can say a total self-acceptance, a total comfort with myself. Another way with reference to karma, Lord Krishna used the word naishkarmya to describe more freedom. Actionlessness. So, Arjuna, we all want to really become free from this action. Everybody gets tired of action. When we come home, when we work for the whole day, you look forward to going home. Because over the day, a lot of stresses are built up, the mind is fatigued, and therefore you want an escape, or you want rest, you want relaxation, you want change, you want to go. So usually action has become a source of stress these days. So people are making a lot of money in holding camps and workshops, stress management. Because everything has become stressful. Action at work has become stressful, even at home it has become stressful. Life at home also is stressful, because relationships are stressful. The other day we talked about relationships, Thursday evening. But relating to other people is also not easy. And my bunch of ragadvesha and another bunch of ragadvesha. Two bunches of ragadvesha relating to each other. My ragadveshas create my demands. Other person's ragadveshas create other person's demands. And two demanding persons. Each person needs that my demand be fulfilled, because the only way I can be happy is when my demand is fulfilled. So I expect you to make me happy by fulfilling my demand. You expect me to make me happy by fulfilling your demand. And so it becomes very stressful. So whole life is stressful. That was not perhaps the case 100 years ago, because things were different. It is not that people were different, but the situation creating stresses were fewer. There were fewer opportunities, fewer ambitions, fewer expectations, and there were things were simpler. Now more opportunities, more freedom, more assertion, more individuality, and therefore more stresses. So life is simply full of stress. All of this is on account of absence of right attitudes and values. Yoga, absence of yoga. Yoga means living life with right values and attitudes. Living life intelligently. Such that karma no more, life no more presents any stress to me. If I can perform my karma without stress, I will have no problem doing any amount of things. See, it is not that we get tired because we do a lot of work. We get tired because of that mental stress. Our fatigue, very often, it can be physical also, but very often the fatigue and exhaustion is at the level of emotional level. The stress, the conflict, that's what makes me exhausted. For in Nishkarmya, being able to perform an action with no stress, no conflict, happily. When action becomes an expression of yourself, your beauty, your fullness, your freedom. So when action becomes an expression of yourself, your wholeness, your completeness, your freedom, then the action becomes what? A blessing to the universe. Because you have no demand. You become free from all agenda, from all demands. Why? Because all your demands are satisfied from your own self. So this is a process of progressively discovering that we can satisfy our demands from our own self. So more I become satisfied with myself, less the need of seeking satisfaction from others, so fewer demands. So we progressively become more and more non-demanding people. More and more self-satisfied people. More and more non-demanding people. Then whatever we do, is not an expression of my demand, is an expression of my freedom. Isn't it so? An action is my expression. If I am free, then it becomes expression of freedom. If I am bound, it becomes expression of bondage. Happy, it becomes expression of happiness. Unhappy, it becomes expression of unhappiness. Is it not so? So in Nishkarma, when karma is not a burden at all, when karma is a process of joy, when you enjoy doing karma because your karma is an expression of your freedom, your beauty, your wholeness, your completeness. When your action becomes a blessing to the world. So that's the ultimate goal. From where right now I am, that my action becomes a problem to the world. Beginning from there, it becomes a blessing. So it's a process, not overnight thing. So Vedanta does not offer any immediate solutions. Does not offer any shortcuts. Process of growth has to be its own natural process, which we have to initiate and carry out consciously. Just as a mango, take an example of a fruit. There are no process by which you can ripen the fruit quickly, isn't it? So apples are ripened and they look very, very bright outside and colorful and things like that, and inside is something else. So just as a fruit is to be ripened by subjecting it to the proper conditions which are conducive to its ripening. So why I remember is because as we are growing up children, in the town where we grew up, because in Gujarat this is the time of mangoes. Summer is the time of mangoes everywhere in India. So those days mangoes were purchased cartloads, A whole cart full of mangoes would come, would be purchased, and would be all spread out in a mezzanine floor. There was a roof above it, and then it's all spread out on the second floor. So underneath there is grass on which you place the mangoes, above there is grass, in between there are some onions, Give it some warmth. And then in the morning you go and turn the mango. Don't just leave it like that. So like this the process goes on for about a week or so and mango becomes ripe. Then you enjoy. Meaning that mango becomes enjoyable when you provide the right conditions for its ripening. When the mango is raw, it is hard, sour, without any flavor, green in color. As it ripens, slowly color changes. Slowly the sweetness comes. Slowly fragrance comes. We don't have to inject any saccharine into the mango. We don't have to paint the mango. Color is already there potentially. Sweetness is also potentially there. The tenderness also is there. Mango becomes tender, becomes yellow, becomes sweet, becomes fragrant. What did we do? We simply provided the right atmosphere for the mango to manifest what was potentially there. Mango is potentially a sweet, fragrant, tender fruit. But for it to manifest, mature, right conditions are provided. So just as there cannot be shortcut as far as ripening of mango is concerned, there cannot be shortcut as far as ripening of our mind is concerned. Like a mango. Right now the mind is raw, sour, without sweetness. But when we carry out this process of karma yoga, right values and attitudes, then slowly the beauty of the mind. As we said in the morning, inherently each one of us is a kind, loving, beautiful person. So our kindness, our love, beauty, all of these slowly manifest. So who is the most mature person? Who is the kindest person? Who will be kind without a reason? Who is compassionate without a reason? Kind without a reason. A giver without a reason. Because he has no agenda. He has become free from all the needs. Say, person free from need. Therefore, a non-demanding person. Means what? All-giving person. That's how the Siddha Prajna is painted. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. When a person becomes free from all desires, means needs and expectations. Because atmani vatmana tushta, he has discovered that satisfaction from himself, by himself. Not that it is injected out, it's there. But he has lived this life to bring the manifestation, that inherent satisfaction from the self. That's called Naishkarmya. Now he is free to do or not to do. The karma is no stress at all. Karma is no burden at all. Meaning that karma gets performed, he doesn't have to perform it, it gets performed. It becomes an effortless expression of himself. Meaning that when there is no free will, there is no karma. His actions are without free will. Can you believe that? The free will is given to us to become free from the need to exercise free will. Because free will represents only bondage. But if you use properly, then you become free from bondage. Improperly, you become bound, more bound. Free will is a two-edged sword. Now he is free from the need to exercise. He has no free will. He has no agenda. Doesn't want anything. How does he live his life? His life is totally controlled by destiny. Free will is all gone, there is only destiny. Prarabdhaya samarpitam svavapuhu. At one point, Shankaracharya describing his guru, says, Prarabdhaya samarpitam svavapuhu. One who has offered his vapuhu, his body, himself to prarabdha, to destiny. Meaning that there is no need for free will because he is free from all need. Free will is meant to provide the needs. When you no need, no free will. The Ishvara controls him. His will is surrendered to the will of Ishvara. Therefore he doesn't perform any action. If action means something done with free will, no action. It's called Naishkarmya. Naishkarmya is freedom from karma, freedom of burden that the karma places upon us. Not freedom from karma. Not that you become just action. It is also your freedom. You can just sit like that. The German Maharshi would come and sit, that's all he would do. Or Vivekananda would go around the world, do a lot of things. What form it takes depends upon the destiny. Destiny decides what they do or don't do. So different personalities have different manifestations. So we don't judge a person based on what they do or don't do. What is within them. So that's called Naishkarmya. Abiding in the self which is actionless. Self is full, complete, and therefore free from all needs, all agenda, and therefore free from need to perform action. Abidance in that fullness. Freedom is called Naishkarmya. It's called actionlessness. His action as now, in case there is action, there is no will involved in that action. He is now the samashti, the totality that is acting through him. Ishvara is acting through him. So that's what we want, Arjuna. You perform action in such a manner that you ultimately become free from need to perform action. So either you perform action in such a manner that you keep on increasing burden of the action, that is unintelligent. Or you perform action in such a manner that you ultimately become free from the need to perform the action. Total freedom to do or not to do. But that will happen when you intelligently perform actions so that you grow in maturity and ultimately become free. So, na karmana manarambha. Karma is only opportunity we have. So, karma is the opportunity we have to become free from karma. You follow? It's like a world pole. You take the pole to lift yourself to the height of 5 feet. You drop the pole. You cross the barrier. So, karma is like that. You perform the karma to lift yourself to the level of purity or maturity, then you drop it. And then comes what we call life of contemplation, with which you gain the knowledge and you abide in yourself. So, not performing action or renouncing action is not the solution. Performing action the right way is the solution of freedom in our life. And it is a process. Moksha is a process, not an event, not something that happens overnight. Something, it is gradually happens, and it's a process leading you to freedom. Freedom is our nature, but we have to bring it to manifestation, and that is the process. It can be quick for some people, slow for some people, doesn't matter. What is important is the undertaking of process of maturity. Because some people are born with advantage. Understand that our quest has not begun with this lifetime. This is an ongoing quest. It is not an accident that we are here. It is not an accident that you, at least whatever interest you have in this, that you have. I'm sure people sitting in the audience have varying degree of interest. Some people may have just passing interest, some people have more serious interest, whatever. All of this has a reason in the past. That we have accumulated some karma, some punya, some virtues in our past, which have resulted into what we are today. So it's an ongoing journey. In the 6th chapter, Lord Krishna says that if your destination has not been reached, don't worry. In the next embodiment, you continue your journey from where you ended here. Just as you're writing a letter, a long letter, at night ultimately the letter is not finished, you go to sleep. Next day, you continue writing. Don't begin from beginning. You continue from where you ended last night. And therefore, we find some people are born with advantage. Some people may have less advantage. So, because everybody has different nature. Our nature is sattva, rajas and tamas. Sattva is predominant, there is tranquility, the goodness, the devi, the divine qualities are there. Rajas means all the asuric qualities are there. Tamas means all rakshasic qualities. We have a combination of them. Some persons are more of this, more of that. And therefore, we are in the same journey at different points. So it doesn't matter where we are. We don't have to judge ourselves from where we are. We don't have to compare ourselves with somebody else. We can learn from somebody else. That is always good. Not compete with them, but learn from them. And undertake the right process in our life so that our journey continues. Naishkarmyam is what ultimately amounts to being your own self, being your natural self, which is free from all needs, free from all need of action. So not freedom from action as much as freedom from need of action. So I think here we will conclude, and if you have questions, please go ahead. Oh, more sophisticated.